Cuthbert Faulkner was born on September 25, 1897 in New Albany, Mississippi. William was the eldest of four sons and had to have the responsibility of watching over his younger brothers. Before the Civil War, the Faulkners were actually a very wealthy family, but the aftermath of the war left the family with very little. At the age of 13, Faulkner began writing poetry, and he had a very special interest for learning, but then he dropped out of high school to kind of join the United States.
I'm buzzing at him. Bow, 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 bow. I'm buzzing at him. Bow, 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 bow. I'm buzzing at him. Ain't no talking, homie. I'm just buzzing at him.
Everything was going great for Faulkner, except for the fact that he kind of sort of lost his foot. In 1919, he enrolled at the University of Mississippi as a special student, but after a year at the university, Faulkner actually left for New York City. In New York City, Faulkner took up several odd jobs. He worked at a bookstore for a short time, but was fired for reading on the job. And soon after, he returned to Mississippi, where he became a postmaster at the Mississippi University Station, where he was again fired for reading on the job in 1924. Between the years 1926 and 1930, Faulkner actually published a series of novels, but none were commercially successful. But in 1931, the success of his newest novel, Sanctuary, which he says was deliberately conceived for money, freed him of financial worry, which made him a tad bit more wealthy, actually.
Look at me now, look at me now, oh, I'm getting paper, look at me now, oh, look at me now, yeah. Fresh to the, oh, little bigger than gorilla, cause I'm killing every grid I can try to be on my shit.
On June the 17th, 1962, Faulkner was again injured by a fall from a horse. In constant pain now, he asked to be taken to Rice Sanatorium in Byhalia, Mississippi. And being the accident-prone man Faulkner was known to be, he actually died on July 6, 1962, just a couple weeks after his horse incident, due to a heart attack.
William Cuthbert Faulkner was an American writer of novels, short stories, poetry, and occasionally screenplays from the early 1920s till the outbreak of World War II. He published 13 novels, a majority of which are based on his home state of Mississippi, and numerous short stories. The Sound and the Fury is the fourth novel written by American author William Faulkner. It is set in the fictional Yoknapatawpha County and centers on the Compson family, who were former Southern aristocrats struggling to deal with the dissolution of their family and its reputation. The novel is separated into four distinct sections that relate many of the same episodes, each from a different point of view and therefore with emphasis on different themes and events. The novel employs a number of narrative styles and was essential in the development of the stream of consciousness narrative technique. The stream of consciousness is a narrative mode that seeks to portray an individual's point of view by giving the written equivalent of the character's thought processes, either in a loose interior monologue or in a connection to his or her actions. It is a continuous flow of sense perceptions, thoughts, feelings, and memories in the human mind. Published in 1929, The Sound and the Fury was not immediately successful. It wasn't until 1931 when Faulkner's sixth novel, Sanctuary, was published and the novel became commercially successful, and Faulkner began to receive critical attention. In 1998, the Modern Library ranked The Sound and the Fury sixth on its list of the 100 best English language novels of the 20th century. Faulkner is considered one of the most important writers of the Southern literature of the United States, along with Mark Twain, Robert Penn Warren, Flannery O'Connor, Truman Capote, Eudora Welty, Thomas Wolfe, Harper Lee, and Tennessee Williams. In 1949, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Literature of his powerful and artistically unique contribution to the American novel.
Go.
I'm trying that. Okay, because I'm falling. I did that on purpose. I didn't really fall. Okay.
Go.
Should I have folded? Good.
Well, I don't know. Maybe we should have a longer rhyme thing.
A longer ride, because I do it a lot. So. Hey, you guys, stop that mess. Let's do that over. I got nervous.
You don't really gotta say that. Just act it out.
But you gotta make sure that the camera can see you too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Wait, maybe you should.
Shoot first, ask questions last. That's how these so-called gangsters last. Waka waka flame. Still I'm bustin' at 'em. Bow 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 bow. Still I'm bustin' at 'em. Bow 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 bow. Bitch I'm bustin' at 'em. Ain't no talking homie. I'm just bustin' at 'em. Bow 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 bow. Bitch I'm bustin' at 'em. Bow bow bow.